I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Raion Leo joins me. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello. I'm Raion Leo or Raion. Honestly, I go by both. I am based off the zodiac Leo, and I'm sent from the stars here to bring you smiles.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And you already brought a smile to me by being here today with me. I appreciate it. When did you get started with the VTuber thing?
So I started quite a while ago. I mean, not as much as other people, but I started in October of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Or somewhere around there. I kind of came in with the big boom over COVID.
Mm.
What was I going to say? Like not exactly at COVID time, but I kind of came in with that big VTuber boom.
Yeah. There was a big influx at that time, and some folks stayed around. Some folks when they when they were able to go outside, abandoned it a little bit. But you stuck with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what drew you to it once you got involved?
Honestly, a couple things. What was I gonna say? I've watched YouTubers all my life. I'm very spoiled, but I've had like an iPad since like before I could remember, like before I could even speak. So YouTube has always been a big thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
What was I gonna say? On top of that, I have a condition that often leaves me bedridden.
Mm-hmm.
And although I can walk, I can go outside, a lot of the times I have to be in bed resting because of it, which both gave me a lot of time to watch YouTube and made it so stuff was hard on me.
Yeah.
And on top of all that, I had heard of Iron Mouse, and I had heard she has immune issues, and I was really happy to see someone else who had immune issues.
Mm.
And now I had watched some VTubers, but I wasn't as big of a fan as I'd like to be. When I spoke with my friend, and I was like, yeah, like it'd be really cool if I could be like a YouTuber or something. And he brought up the idea of VTubers, and I hadn't really thought about it before. We have a friend who's a VTuber, so he brought her up and said, if you need anything, you can ask her. And that's kind of when I slowly started to get into it.
Mm. So you were. It wasn't exactly, cannonball into the water.
Exactly.
It's test. Let's see what this is all about, and I noticed things about it. And was it a satisfying entry, or did it take a little while for you to get your sea legs?
I would say a mixture of the two, honestly.
Mm.
I also had really bad social anxiety at the time that was slowly getting better, but wasn't fully there yet.
Right.
So I thought it'd be a lot scarier than it was, but I was also doing cosplay performances where I'd get in cosplay and do idol dances or stuff like that, and that's when I started to realize, like, when it's not exactly you, it feels a lot different.
Yeah.
And also, when people are coming to see something specific, they tend to not be mean towards it. So, like, with cosplays, like, no one walks into the cosplay performance and says, boo, I hate cosplays, because that's not, they're there for cosplays.
Right.
I started to stream, and I had a lot of fun with my first few streams, but it was definitely hard to figure things out. I don't have my first few streams because of a lot of mistakes. I didn't know that you had to save VODs. I didn't know they disappeared. My mic was terrible. I had, like, this free VTuber model that I made that looked like something.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of mistakes along the way. And it's not an easy process per se, but it was fun while being confusing.
That's a really good. I like that. Fun while being very confusing. That's the first time I've heard that one. That's really good. But it does sound like that you enjoyed yourself right away, even though it was a little confusing. You say it was fun. Did you look forward to doing it again? Were you satisfied with the first time out?
Yeah, I would say so.
Mm,
I looked forward to it a lot, and another part of it that made me happy is at the time, because of me being bedridden and social anxiety, I didn't get out much. Luckily,
mm,
I do more now.
mm.
But the second I walked into the VTuber community, I kind of only knew the big VTubers, so I assumed it would have been mostly like men, which would be fine, but like mostly men that I'd have nothing in common with.
Right.
But it was a ton of supportive people and a ton of nice people. Like, so I started getting really excited. I would have fun streaming, and even if no one watched, I was like, this is what I do anyways. I just sit around playing games anyways,
Mm.
and now I'm just having fun giggling with it. So it's extra fun.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I was kind of excited to start joining that nice community.
Yeah. Well, it's good that it really has allowed you to expand your horizons all the way around, and get to know people, and yeah, it's um, having the situation that you're in as far as medical issues go. It was you already were kind of behind the eight ball if you wanted to do a lot of stuff with other folks just because of how the situation was. And now you get that
That
chance. You get to interact with people, and we get to see what you're all about.
exactly, which I love.
Yeah. So, you what type of games are you playing online?
It's kind of starting to change. So I've always been someone of I'd say I'll play any game if it's fun, but I'm a little biased because most of my life for me that meant like Minecraft or Sims,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really play a lot of other games, but I'm getting more and more into other games. So on stream, I play a lot of gotchas,
Mm-hmm.
but I also love indie games, especially indie horror games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get more into. A lot of the time, I'll play any game that's interesting to me, but I'm trying to get more into visual novels
Oh.
and indie horror games and psychological horror and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll still play gotchas, but I find it much more interesting to kind of like play something unexpected and play something that like we can be enthralled with the story on stream instead of just gotchas.
Yeah. Now, that being said, have you played the horse racing game?
Yes, not on stream yet, but I'm actually a horseback rider in real life.
Oh yeah.
Um, with college, I haven't been able to horseback ride because
Yeah.
I was just so busy.
Right.
So the second this game came out, my best friend messaged me and he said, "Look, there's a game. There's horses, there's lesbians, and there's idols, and I love all three of those." And I was like, "Sign me up!" And I've been playing every day.
In looking at the game, it's almost like people looked at specifically at VTubers. Said,
Exactly.
what are three things what are things that they really like? Okay, the gotchas, lesbians.
Exactly.
We're just gonna make a game on that.
Yeah.
But it has the gotcha in it, so the gambling is there, and
Exactly.
and horse racing, and of course you've been on the horse, but the horse racing part of it, that is really addictive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and even if you don't know very much about horse racing, I know that a friend of mine is a former harness racer, and I don't know I don't hear a lot about harness racing these days, but it's very interesting to me anyway.
It is.
And we went to a track on the way to a road baseball game we were going to do on the air, and my golly, I could have lost a lot of money there.
I feel that. Um, Funny thing is, in real life, I don't really like racing.
Yeah,
Like, I love horses. I don't like racing. What was I gonna say? But for the game, it's so fun. Although it gives you that gambling feeling that
yeah,
betting on horse races does.
yeah. Oh, it is the gambling thing that catch you because
It
I,
is.
we had I bet on one time. I only did it twice in my life. This was the first time, and if our horse would have gotten one more head, we would have won like $130. But we finished third instead of second. Which I was
That's
like,
always so frustrating.
yeah, and I'm thinking, oh man, we could do it again. And they go, No, I like my money.
Especially, I would say the part of the game that's most well portrayed towards horses is how they're animals. And not in a way of like don't view them like us, more in a way of they each have their own personalities
Mhm.
and they are not going to do exactly what you want all the
Oh,
time.
no,
You're expecting a horse to be perfect, it's not going to happen.
no.
And each of them have their own quirks that relate to that.
Mhm.
What was it going to say? So, for example, some examples of horses I've ridden is there's a horse at my barn named Cinnamon,
Mhm.
and despite her sugary name, she loves to be a brat on purpose. She loves to kick when you're on her. She loves to bite you when you're grooming her. She's like, "You're touching my mane. Stop it." She loves to be a brat on purpose. When there was another horse I knew who was just off the racetracks, a failed racehorse,
Mhm.
and poor baby was the most nervous horse ever.
Oh,
Um, After each lesson, he'd be soaked in sweat, not from movement, just from nerves.
oh,
So you can often tell once you get to know them, like looking back on like Uma Musume, like Gold Ship,
yeah,
she just likes to be wild. That's just her
yeah,
as a person.
yeah,
When like someone like Haru Rara or like other horses like her, like Special Week, might like do something that hurts them, and so they start acting grumpy. Like
right,
it depends on the horse, depends on their quirks.
yeah. I look back on that Gold Ship. They played they the actual Gold Ship horse, which is a lot of these are based on actual horses. Um, and that horse was goofy.
Oh yeah,
uh, Fun but goofy, and
yeah.
and you see the horse run exactly the same way, coming from 85th place to win in the last second, and just driving
Yeah.
everybody crazy at the same time.
Oh yeah. I got really hyper fixated on this game and especially on her, which she was surprisingly my favorite. I usually like the cute and cheery ones,
Yeah,
but she just nestled a place in my heart because horses are so like that.
yeah,
She like there's so much about the real horse that's interesting to me.
hmm
Like the 12 million yen incident where she was doing a race where people bet 12 million yen on the horse
wow,
and she ended up getting distracted or attacking another horse inside the thing
yeah.
and not running until like 2 minutes after every other horse started running.
Yeah, yeah. I they kind of put that into one of the anime, I guess, but in that one,
They do.
that one she ends up winning anyway, which I don't think is quite
Exactly.
if you're starting to. But the my my wife's uncle had a stud on his farm, and
Oh.
yeah, and very successful thoroughbred. Uh, as far as the the children and such were very good uh, racers and such. I went in to visit just to see him, and I'll be golly, as soon as he walks out of the barn, he just stands there, and I am nothing. He knows exactly who he is, and he knows that I am nothing. Pays absolutely no attention to me. stands there and
Horses.
stands there and gives me one shot at a picture. He kind of poses a little bit, doesn't look down, poses, and then turns around and walks back into the barn. I'm like, thank you very much, sir.
Oh my goodness. Horses are like that. They each have their own things. What was I gonna say? That reminds me. There was a horse at my barn who so no one could touch her but the owner,
Mhm.
and if you touched her, she would squeal at you like a bratty teenage girl. And so even when like trying to put her food in, and the funny part is she'd go up to you and she'd touch you,
Mhm.
and then when she touched you, she'd squeal like, "Ew, don't touch me." Um, so she was something else, and she was hard to ride because of that.
Yeah.
I was always a person in horseback riding that I'm not very competitive, even
Hmm.
though now I'm trying to compete. But I love the animals, and because of that, I'd often love the misunderstood horses and try
Hmm.
to help them.
Right.
But some barns got a little excited at that prospect and would put me on the really misunderstood horses, and so crazy story times.
The horses that think they're cats and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Well, it's just I don't know if I just because of physical issues and the fact that I'm not a big fan of heights, I would not do that. I would not have done that. But yeah, it'd be more fun because
Yeah.
the personalities are so different, and to see a horse just out enjoying itself in a field without anybody around is like it's kind of like watching a cat on catnip sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? It's horseback riding is kind of something you either really love or don't love. I've
Mm,
never seen someone kind of like it, but not that much.
mm,
Like usually people either don't ride or they do. What was I gonna say? But it's a really fun sport. It definitely hurts your body.
mm,
They were actually really surprised I could ride. A lot of people are because of my disability.
yeah.
Um, I have EDS, so a part of that is I pull out joints like
Mm.
it's nothing.
Oh wow.
My body's really flexible
Mm,
in bad ways,
yeah.
so I can pull out a hip like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, although horseback riding does make me sore and I need to take a huge, huge break afterwards because of my condition, I have yet to pull something while on a horse. I've pulled things while walking to grab my glasses from the nightstand or while going to take a final pee at night,
Yeah.
but I have yet to do it in an actual situation that makes sense.
Yeah. 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 It does. Unfortunately, I don't have anything like yours, but I have several. I've had several abdominal surgeries, which leads to literally everything being. Well, there's nothing there to hold any of the muscles in. I'll say that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So if sometimes they'll be just trying to get up out of a chair and suddenly hello hernia, and it's like
Oh, I completely understand.
okay, now if we're going to walk it's going to be painful and I'm going to be at a 90-degree angle to the floor.
I completely understand. My condition's very random.
Yeah.
Everyone with it has different symptoms, and I have the symptoms I get the most and stuff, but
Mm.
I have chronic pain and stuff, but
Uh,
it chooses the most random times. So in some ways I can predict it, but in other ways I can't. So physical activity makes it worse. So of course, I'm not gonna like go for a run then try to stream because I'm not gonna have any energy and I'm gonna be in pain.
right.
But sometimes it's so random, like I'll or like symptoms will appear weirdly for me. So I'll just be walking and I'll be like with my family and I'll be like, "Hey mom, my wrist is threatening me." She's like, "Threatening you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, because of my condition, I'm very in touch with my body. So my
Yeah.
wrist will be like, if you do anything else, I'm going to pull out. I
Yeah.
will do it." And I'm like, "Okay, sorry."
Just keep it warm and happy.
Exactly.
That's so when it doesn't even do anything, just threatens you at the time. It's like if you pull,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I've pulled a hamstring muscle one time, and it's kind of like feeling like you're shot in the back of the leg when it happens. It
Yeah.
just kind of pops out more than anything else. And once it starts to heal, you start to try to move around and things, and it'll just give you a little waver. You're like, okay, okay, okay. We're gonna do it again. Okay, no, 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 that's fine. I'll stop. Whatever. I'll set.
I completely feel that.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I like have a very strong pain tolerance because of my condition. I remember when I was like 6, I was at the doctor and the doctor was telling my mom like she's in enough pain to like have a grown man on the ground right now, and I was
Mm,
just playing with Barbies, watching TV.
mm,
Um, but pulling something really hurts.
yeah.
So that's how my mom knows when I pulled something because I'll walk up to her and be like, "Oh, hey, like I'm in like extremely, extremely bad stomach pain, so I'm
Mm.
gonna go sit down." And she's like, "You sure you good?" When I pull something, and I remember the first time I did it, I like the first time at least that I knew for sure I did it.
Yeah.
I just loudly screamed the F word as loud as I could, and
And it wasn't
she was in
fun.
shock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was like, okay, now something's really wrong.
exactly.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? And on top of that, the doctors can't really do much for it. What was I gonna say? My condition and usually the injuries, it depends on what exactly happens, but a
Hmm.
lot of the time it'll slightly pull out, but not fully, which hurts just as bad, but means they can't set it back into place because since it's not fully out, they could set it back into the wrong place.
Right, right, right. And there's I have been lucky enough to not have a dislocation at this point, and I don't move fast enough to do it at this point, so I don't expect one. But
So,
um, even just a little bit, you could if something just doesn't come back right when you're moving your hands or something, that kind of pain is amazing. But you kind of represent what people are able to do because it sounds like you've just living with it, but
mhm.
you've adapted as best you can to it, um, and people are really adaptable.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I try to be, especially like I haven't always been able to do things the best.
Yeah.
But I learned when you're disabled, and this could be with anything honestly, but when you're disabled, instead of trying to work with the systems they gave you and hurting yourself to do so, you got to find the system that works for you and that they'll let you do.
Mm.
Like I wasn't in high school often, and I was struggling because I kept trying to do it how I thought the like quote unquote normal kids did it. I
Hmm.
thought if I just keep pushing, if I could just make it to class, if I could do all this, I could pass.
Hmm.
And it took until nearly senior year for me to realize, hey, that doesn't work. Why don't I try something else? So I had to move my plans so I could do it from home.
Hmm.
And I still managed to make it through a lot easier because that was what I needed. I couldn't do it the exact same way everyone else could. And now I'm at college, and I decided to go to college halfway across the country.
Yeah.
And my parents at first were like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But they always supported me. They just supported me with a big backup net in case I fell.
Yeah.
And I was able to make it through the year and everything. It was
Congratulations.
really hard for sure. There were hard moments, but I think it's important to know as a disabled person, like listen to your body and find different ways. You don't have to do it the way everyone else does.
Oh no, no, and F them anyway. I mean, you
Exactly.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. I bet there's a lot of people who once they know you know and know what's going on with you, are trying
Oh,
do the thing which I would always do, and I'm holding myself back from doing it right now, which is give you suggestions.
yeah. And a lot of the time, it depends on their intentions. Like,
Yeah.
what was I going to say? So, for example, when people just try to give me suggestions, I'm not offended. I do hear the same ones over and over again, so sometimes it gets a little annoying, but I'm not offended when someone tries to give me suggestions.
Hmm.
What I do get offended at, which happens more than you think, is when people try to speak for me as if they know it. Like,
Ah.
for example, I've had people be like, "Oh, why are you eating Wendy's? You said your stomach hurts," and like, just being actually concerned, just being like, "Hey, should you eat that right now?" is fine. But I've had people be like, "Well, obviously your stomach hurts if you ate Wendy's,"
Yeah.
and it's like, wow, after almost 19 years of pain, I never thought of just not eating Wendy's. Wow, that's great. Let me try that. Or like even doctors.
Yeah.
I didn't get diagnosed until I was 14
Uh-huh.
because doctors so often would either just they try their best but couldn't find anything, or a lot of them just didn't believe me.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, and I hear this with so many people with illnesses like mine, I once even went to a doctor who specializes in weird cases,
Hmm.
and his conclusion after asking me some questions and doing some tests, which I don't mean blood work, I don't mean serious test, I mean the test where they hit you on the knee with a hammer to see your reaction,
Hmm.
and that was it. And he kind of looked into my eyes a bit. He came back and concluded that my 19 years of pain and passing out and constantly being sick is actually because I'm a teenager and I need to drink more water and I need to exercise more. He never asked how much water I drink or how much I exercise. And that my mom, when she gets a call saying that I need to be picked up from school, needs to tell them, no, actually, she's fine.
Uh, yeah, that's like a reverse Doctor House.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah. And, like, a lot of doctors tried to do that or would give me suggestions like drink more Gatorade or drink more water or
yeah,
do this. And they were trying to help, but a lot of them would only give that, and when that wouldn't work, they'd be like, well, then I don't know, like I don't see anything, so and like hint at the fact I was faking it,
right.
and it took finding a good doctor to finally both figure out what I have and to finally like get treatment and stuff like that.
Right.
I've gotten a lot of different treatments and things like that. And some of the doctors, it's not their fault. Like, I have stomach pain every single day, but it doesn't appear in my stomach.
Right.
It's caused by things outside of my stomach.
Hmm.
So they would look at my stomach and see nothing. But it is the fault of the doctors who just wouldn't take me seriously, would refuse testing, things like that.
Mm,
And it's sadly a common experience having my illness.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not something that you hear about every day, is it? The
Oh, yeah,
but the fact that that should make it even more of a priority.
exactly.
It's not like you're coming in with a light case of the sniffles. You're coming in with a
Exactly.
but I'm not going to get on doctors and stuff because I have plenty of my own.
Oh yeah,
I
I
want them
feel
to be nice to me.
and especially some doctors are really nice. Sometimes you don't have to eat that apple a day to keep a doctor away. You
No.
just got to make sure that you're at the right one. And if one just isn't listening to you, that doesn't mean that, well, I'm never going to find a good doctor. It means you got to look for a different doctor.
Yeah, yeah, because they're all coming from different points of view too. So that's some of them have seen this before, know what they're doing. Some of them are like, I don't know.
Exactly.
And
And plus, I
and
get such random symptoms that I could see how it seems like I'm faking it. My mom, when I was younger, thought I was faking it and didn't realize I had anything because,
mm,
you come into the doctor and you're like, hey, I have a stomach ache. And they're like, okay, let's help with the stomach ache. You come in the next day and you're like, hey, I passed out. And they're like, okay. You come in
mm,
the next day and you're like, hey, I'm dizzy and my foot hurts. And after a while
yeah,
coming in, they're like, none of these things are adding up. I'm
yeah,
starting to wonder.
yeah. None of these things add to get your they're totally different languages here.
Exactly.
Yeah, but when it does come together and you finally get the idea, somebody tells you what it is. Was that a relief? A little bit of a relief, anyway.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a relief in a way. What was I gonna say? So, funny story about that. My neurologist is my best doctor. He knows my condition.
Mm,
He's actually doing studies with it. He has a daughter with the condition, and
mm,
so ever since he's tried to dedicate his life to helping the condition.
mm,
So he's amazing, and I love him. But the only mistake he made is I actually learned I have my condition EDS from an acupuncturist,
mm.
which was a surprise to be sure. I've went to like hospitals that are expensive beyond belief. I've went to Lurie's Children hospitals. I've traveled to states,
Well,
and she was the one that said I could have this condition. And I came back to my neurologist and was like, "Oh, she says I probably have this condition, EDS." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I knew that."
uh,
And I was like, "What? You didn't tell me?"
yeah,
Other than that, he's amazing. But
yeah,
I was so annoyed. I was like, "You knew and you didn't tell me?"
yeah. Sometimes they're a little um. The brain is there, but it doesn't always communicating.
Exactly. And plus, he's very like, have you ever seen Dr. House?
Oh yeah, yeah. Watch the whole thing.
He's like that in a way of like he could be a little bit arrogant and he can do some out of the box methods for sure.
Hmm.
And sometimes you might be like, I what is going on. But at the end of the day, he's really, really helpful.
Mm,
He'll get you a ton of help with it. He's able to help you a ton. Like, his results show the effort he puts in.
yeah, yeah, and so do yours.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I strictly go by the this that people aren't the product of their circumstances, but they're the triumph that emerges from those circumstances. And
That's fair.
and it sounds like me, you've taken the bull by the horns here. Um,
Thank you.
and you're making sure you do whatever you can, and you're not going to be stuck in any one place for any period of time. You're just not going to do it.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely have periods where I get a little more down, but I always try my best to stay cheery, which confuses those around me, and
Mm,
some people mistake that for me being fine, but I just always like to stay cheery in general,
mm,
and it's not even always for others. Sometimes it's for me. It gets
mm,
really boring being sad and in pain all the time.
mm,
So I get bored of it. I like to stay cheery as much as I can. And there's when you lay in bed all day, you think of all the possible things you could do in life.
no.
It's a lot harder when you're in the middle of something, but when you're laying around, you think of so many things you can do in life.
Hmm.
So I do have to take my rest periods, but the second I'm out of my rest periods, I try to grab the bull by the horns as much as I can.
Yeah. Now, when you're streaming, what does that take out of you, or are you able to do that for long periods of time and over a regular schedule when you're active?
So it's a bit harder on me. It's luckily easier for me than other activities,
Hmm.
but after a couple hours of streaming, it does start to get to me. I get more tired and in pain and things like that.
Hmm.
So usually I can stream at most up to 2 hours.
Hmm.
Now, part of it is I'm back on summer break,
Hmm.
so I haven't been streaming often since I had college and trying to use my little energy I have. I had to choose between college and like food and like doing my chores
Yeah.
and streaming.
Yeah.
And as you can guess, streaming kind of made the bottom of the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now that I'm back, I'm so excited. My schedule's not as regular as I would like, both because college and now, I'm back on summer break, so I do have a lot more free time and I am going to stream a lot more, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I still have family that has missed me while I'm away.
Yeah.
I still have a ton of doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
I still have like activities I'm trying to squeeze in, friends I'm trying to squeeze in. So I hope to stream a lot more, but there's still complications.
Well, it's this is a situation where um, I think need people who don't know what's going to. You have a situation that's very hard to empathize with because very few people go through what you're doing. But sympathy is something else, and at least it's something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's sometimes misguided, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, because I know I get to the point where I see folks who are in situations like yours and like I want to fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it.
Yeah.
Um,
Natural instinct to want to.
yeah, but to see what you've been able to do with it is pretty amazing. Um, and I will say this: you're very stubborn
Oh yeah.
in a good way, but stubborn still, like maybe like a certain racehorse.
Exactly. That's probably why I love her so much. Thank you so much. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's hard for people to understand a lot of the time, but what I always tell people is like, I don't fully need you to understand, like you
Yeah,
can't, and especially it's hard because you want to fix it, but there's no cure for my condition, just treatments.
yeah,
So, and I never mind when people are trying to fix it, honestly, because I know they're not trying to be rude, and like it's a natural instinct to want to do that, and sometimes advice has been helpful.
mm,
So like when people are like, "Oh, have you tried this? Have you tried this?" I'm always like, "Actually, like let me talk this through with you. Let me tell you what I have tried. Let me tell you what's worked and what hasn't."
yeah,
The only time I mind it is when people try to step in and say that I'm doing things wrong or I
hmm,
need to do this certain thing or it'd be better if you just did this.
yeah,
But even then, people aren't evil. People are just seeing it from their perspective, and they've never had what I have, which
no,
I get.
yeah,
But I always think of it as like people have had colds and things like that. Just kind of think of it as a very long cold. Like doesn't need to be exactly understood, but my mom or my family in general often will message me and be like, "Hey, I have a tummy ache right now. Like, I kind of get how you feel," or like, "Hey, like I have a headache right now. Like, I don't know how you stay so cheery when you have this." And it's different for me because it's kind of every day, so you get used to it. But my family in general can be stubborn. I learned that from them. I can sometimes be a little stubborn to a fault. There's been times when I pushed myself so hard with my illness, I made myself worse.
Oh,
But I've gotten to a good point of stubborn where I stick with what I'm doing and I will get where I need to get.
mm.
But I can stop for a break or maybe like a donut or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you get a donut in, or Wendy's, make sure you do it. Wendy's chili, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, did you know that
Ooh.
Wendy's chili now has got cans of chili available at the store?
Ooh, I didn't know that. I still have yet to try their chili, which
Oh,
feels like a sin because I go there so
it's
often. But I love their
delicious.
potatoes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My wife loves the potatoes. That it's still the only place that you can go through a drive-through and get potatoes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's kind of you'd think somebody else would have picked that up, but
Oh
just
yeah.
regular potatoes.
Exactly.
Um, but anyway, yeah, they're at the store. I'm not sponsored by anybody, believe me, but I would live off that stuff. It's expensive though. The For you, what are your goals now for streaming, or do you have one?
I do. In general, it would be lovely to have more viewers. I love my viewers I have already,
Hmm.
but especially, like my viewers are in the same period of life I am, which is kind of a transitional period. So a
Hmm.
lot of them hop in, but are like, hey, I'm kind of into this transitioning thing, so I gotta step off for now.
Hmm.
So I would love to have more viewers, but I love the ones I have so much in general. Like when someone's there, it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
There's a couple things I want to do. Like I want to be more consistent. And I kind of want to. There's a lot of games I want to stream, and in general, I kind of might start switching which games I'm playing.
Hmm.
Now, the gotchas will always be there if
Yes.
anyone wants me to play the gotchas, but there's so many interesting games out there I haven't tried. Um, like I want to play Date Everything. I want to play Deltarune. I want to like so many games I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I'm planning on getting some summer art, so that's very exciting.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's if it sounds to me like I would say that it's a custom fit, but what you're going through is kind of the a really ideal situation with this VTubing. In that you've gotten to a chance to expand your horizons. A lot more people know you. Um, it While everything probably hurts, it doesn't. It's not the same as going out and running 100-meter dash or anything like that.
Exactly.
And these are opportunities that you normally wouldn't have been able to get.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It makes me so happy. And I don't expect a career from VTuber or anything, although if that happened, it'd be cool.
yeah,
I just would love to bring people smiles as much as I can. VTubing has already done so much for me. It's made me more confident. It's helped with my social anxiety. It's given me an outlet to show off my interests and things like that. It's given me my lovely community I have so far. It's given me actually so many friends. It's like in general, the VTubing in general has done so much for me that I would love to repay back in whatever way I can. I would love to bring people smiles like the VTubing has brought me smiles.
you're already doing that. I mean,
I'm
yeah,
glad.
I mean, just your contributions by being here. Don't underestimate that because there's somebody out there who knows who's been able to watch and knows what you're going through, and you're helping them out as much as those earlier VTubers helped you out.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Yeah, and the fact that you are able to remain positive, and try to show that as much as possible, and not be fakey about it, because there's some people
Oh yeah.
who can be fake about it. This just shows that you had that no matter what your situation was, you'd have been good at this in the first place. Um, it, uh, no matter where you're coming from, this would have been good. You and this is a good match. Um,
Thank you.
and again, very, very easy to talk with. And I can't help but root for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are going to be doing that here soon. It's just going to be a question of time, and keeping a regular schedule isn't going to be easy for you, obviously, and stupid school in the way all the time.
Exactly.
If you don't mind my asking, what are you taking in college?
Okay, so this is interesting. I'm taking a clinical philosophy degree,
Oh.
which in simple language is kind of a medical related one, which is interesting because I hate science and I've barely passed through school.
Yeah.
So it's not easy for sure.
Yeah.
I'm also a part of the honors program now, which I was shocked they let me in, but I'm very happy to have. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a lot going on at once. But I figure out ways to make it easier on my condition every day. And even though I hate science, I want to help people with my condition. It's a kid my age that has symptoms can be diagnosed at 7 instead of 14, then maybe they could get something that could help them easier. Then maybe they won't have to deal with years of people telling them it's not real. Then maybe they can feel understood in a way that I didn't get to feel.
That is absolutely tremendous, and you are something else.
Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure talking with you and getting to know you. And folks, you got to check out what Raion Leo's got going on. We're gonna have the links in the description. Again, the schedule might be a little bit here and there and everywhere, but once you do catch them, be sure to say hello and check out what seems to be a wonderful person. I don't have absolutely no right to be, but I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. That still means a lot. I usually stream on weekends, most likely, but I always post on Twitter when I'm going to stream, and I always try to let people know if there's a flare-up or if my condition suddenly acts up or anything like that.
Yeah, just a neat person, just neat. Take that, neat person.
I've never been called that before, but I'm glad.
Well, you've never had an old guy interview you before, so there you go. Raion Leo, thank you so much for coming on. It's refreshing to talk with someone who's absolutely incorrigibly stubborn in a good way. It's good. It's a good thing, and you're a good thing. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.